Well, Orca and I, or rather just I, will show you my pen collection areas, I should say. I've got way more than one, and the cat will be here at the last. So let's go to the various spots where pens exist in my house. Well, here's 6 of them. 6 jade wall desk pens and 6 pearlin black wall desk pens on a dartboard. And it looks like the green one, the jade, tends to win. The balance is correct or something, I don't know. And just so you know, these pens have broken nibs, so no pen was actually harmed in this little pastiche, this little collage that I made. Under the Razzle Dazzle Destroyer, I have this lovely case that was used to for a watch store to put watch bands in. And I have used it as, this is my little, when I have a visitor visiting me to look at my pens for the first time, I can sort of show what my entire collection is like by going through these drawers. The first drawer shows various filling systems. Second, these are more filling systems. These are pens that have gimmicks on them, whether it be a word gauge, a pen magnifying glass, the Heartline blotter pen, a pen that looks like a bullet. These are all sort of gimmicky pens. These show, this is for Paul Areno and the Black Pen Society. These are all balance Schaefer pens in various sizes, and they're all streamlined balance pens. And I suppose it's more or less complete, but there's always one missing. There's always some design, and I'm not talking about, in this case, I'm not talking about the various bands. It's more the sizes, because they're short, longer, thin, thicker. There's probably 4 different sizes of thickness and length. And then these are pens that have had trauma of some sort. This pen does not. This is almost brand new. But this is the same pen, but very well used. And no one else in the world would like this, any of these pens, except for me. This one, someone had made a band that is quite beautiful, as you can see, using wire, and they tightened it up very well. This one, someone got out their jackknife and improved, they thought, the look, which I think in this case they did. It's not much of a pen. This is another lovely version of the Waterman vine pattern, and here's the same pen essentially that's almost completely worn away. And I like the pens that are worn because they show that the pen had a life. This one is completely broken in half, but it's been taped together and used for years subsequent to that. This is another one where it was held in the hands so tightly, not only is the barrel really warped, but the cap has been almost completely worn away. And then I've got ones that have teeth marks on it, and it's just fun, I think. Next drawer down, these are Parker 51s, and the good imitations of the 51s, the Fifth Avenue pen, the Waterman Taperite, the 51 and its imitators. Below that, I have other imitators, and these are shittier imitations. But I like the fact that in many instances, pens, when you get a pen like a Duofold or a 51, everyone tries to copy them. And they come up with all sorts of ways to do it without infringing on patents. Sterling silver I love, and smooth sterling silver I really like. I like these pens because they look like they were designed by someone who normally designs locomotives. And there's something very beautiful about a very simple sterling, smooth sterling pen. But I also like some glitzy pens. I'm not really a glitzy penophile, but I kind of like them. And some of them are good pens, some of them are sort of, this is like so elegante, the Schaefer Scriptsert pens that they sold in the late 50s. And this pen here, the fanciest one of the lot, this was a lot of money back in 19 whatever it was. It's crazy. These are pens that have names on them, and I love pens that have names on them. And some of these pens, here's one with my name on them, Trooper Gustafson. Some of them are, the names are, this one is carved with a jackknife, with the guy's unit number in the Navy. This one I think is very funny because it's like you could put a stamp on this and send it through the mail. It has a zip code which didn't exist when this pen was made, so this was a very late addition. Sometimes the stories they tell, presented to Kellogg Van Winkle. Well, it does, take my word for it. Kellogg Van Winkle, blah, 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 blah. And my very favorite, olive. This cap was originally on a black pen, but it just didn't seem right to be on a black pen, so I've added it to this one. I'm out of focus again. Red hard rubber and orange hard rubber, mottled hard rubber rather. These are Watermans. I'm a Waterman guy in many cases, so these are just an example of a lot of the Watermans I have. Small example. These are Parkers. Now this drawer shows sort of the earliest, the history of a company, which I don't normally care about, but sometimes I do, and so it's nice to have an early one all the way up to, today, except today for me is a while back. These are pen and pencil sets made by the company that I think made some of the most beautiful sets, and it's the Wall Eversharp company. What do we have here? These are pencils with apps, meaning pencils that have some tricky device on them. Slide rule pencil, cigarette lighter pencil, ruler pencils, etc. In these drawers I have, I think, mainly other pencils. I've got other drawers on either side of this. These have off-brand. Maybe I have only one of each of these. Sometimes a few more than one. Down here, with the light, these have Schaefer balance pens, Schaefer flat top pens for the most part, so they're not always in the right drawer. What are these? Eversharp off-brands, and by alphabet off. Oops, now they're falling down. Tragedy, tragedy. Over here we have drawers full of, I don't know what those are, ballpoint pens. Why I have those, I don't know. Schaefer pencils, Ingersoll, and other sort of pretty crappy pens. wherevers. Speaking of wherever, back here, this is my homage to Frank Dubiel. I have a wherever case and some wherever pens. And I have that, Frank Dubiel collected wherevers, and he was a friend of mine, and I bought a lot of these pens from Frank. Okay, I have to put you on pause for a second. Mirror, mirror on the wall. You open this up, and this was supposed to hold Milady's jewelry and earrings and stuff, but I've made these pockets out of fabric, and these hold pen and pencil sets of various types. I also have behind this case, I have these are pen boxes. Hello. Did I comb my hair? Of course not. These have pen boxes that have pens in them. Below that, I have a case that held, originally these were coins, coin collector case, and I have more pens here, dip pens, various other dip pens, early mechanical pencils, Parker, Parker 51s in brown, Waterman, and these go down to other Watermans and other Watermans and other pens altogether. In here, in these drawers, I have desk pens. That's not desk pens. Oops, they're on the other side in the dark. But drawers like this have desk pens, and desk pens occasionally find their way in other parts of my house too. This one's a light. Here's the pen amongst the battleships. Another pen is back here, and I'll reconvene in a moment. I also have this very large sewing thread cabinet. This was in a milliner's store at some point, and these all held spools of thread, and now they hold pen parts. Schaefer. Who knows what other pens. And so this is the quarry where I find when I buy a pen or I have to fix a pen for someone, I'll go to my Parker drawer. You get the picture. Up here, Waterman plastic, etc. And now I'm back at my desk with Orca, and the pens that are in this area are pens that I use at my desk for the most part. These are ones that are filled with ink right now. So these desk pens are full of ink. These drawers are full of pens as well, and they're sorted out not by company but by the nib and what the nib will do for me. I also have many desk pens that don't have bases, and I figure, well, I'll just put a nice nib in them and use them here on my drawing table where they belong. And so these are the ones that I use most of the time. Back here there's more desk pens, as you can see. Kitty. And then over here there's a few more desk pens strewn about. And there's the font czar. Say goodbye, font czar. Goodbye. Well, I'm not ready to quite say goodbye yet, but let me just zoom over this way again. These are pens I'm waiting to fix. We're back at the cat's domain. When I am trying to find a pen, a particular pen in my collection especially, I often don't know where it is. If it's a desk pen, I generally know where those are. But if it's a fountain pen, you know, is it in the drawer with the names on it? Because I like pens with names. Is it in the name drawer? Question mark. Is it in the drawer with the sets? Is it in the cabinet with the sets? Is it in the drawer that has the Schaefer pens? Is it in the drawer on my desk that I'm using? So it's pretty difficult because many pens that I have can fit in all sorts of categories. So I have to decide which category I decided to put it in. You know, is this pen going to go in my sterling drawer, or my wall drawer, or my engraved drawer, or the condition drawer, because of the big old dent in it. There it is, there's the dent. So I have to make these decisions. Now most of you out there in pen collecting world would put it in your junk box, but those of you that would keep it would put it in your wall Eversharp drawer, probably under the year that this was made or the model number or something. But that's what you do, and it's perfectly fine. But that's not what I do. I sort things out. You know, you use the Library of Congress, I use Dewey Decimal on drugs. Right, kitty? There you go. Say goodbye, kitty. Goodbye.